1007-35192 to send me a text. Hey, Clinton is in North Royalton. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to call. Alan, I think you're with the Poundcake situation and him, anxiety cleaning his house and all that. I think you're oversimplifying a little bit. You know, you say you live with him and, he knows who he is, but, you live with family your whole life and all that, but you're still going to, over clean and make sure everything's perfect before any family comes over your house. You know what I mean?
I don't. I bet a lot of people don't do that. I mean, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying, I don't. Poundcake was like trying. He wasn't doing it for his friend's benefit. He was doing it to make it look like he had somehow evolved into this tidy, clean person when he's got clothes in bags and he's been in this new spot for like 6-7 months.
Not 6-7 months.
How long you been in there?
4 months.
Oh yeah, okay, that's better.
That's big. That's a big difference. That's not 6 or 7 months.
Big difference. Okay, but it's going to
do that. We put on that facade.
Yeah, but Poundcake, it's going to be 6-7 months, and those clothes are still going to be in the bags.
No,
So
they're not.
They're not? Oh, what's the cutoff time for the clothes coming out of the bags? 4 months is too soon. 6 months apparently is too late. So when are they coming out?
5.
5 months.
Right in the middle.
Split the difference.
When I get enough money to wash all my clothes because I have to pay for laundry now, or when I have enough time to be home for a certain.
You don't
amount
have
of time.
quarters?
If no one takes quarters anymore, it's on like
It's like a card. It's like a
Laundromats ain't that expensive.
or like a Dave and Buster's card or something.
Oh, dude, actually, laundromats are kind of expensive now.
They're really expensive.
I divide it between
It's like $3 a load.
doing laundry at my apartment.
Just
and
like
then,
your mom.
Rad, man. Shut up, Bill.
Not your mom, like your mom.
Like
The
all moms.
royal you, yeah. But I take your point, Clinton. You might be onto something there, but when was the last?
I've heard the house cleaned.
Right. All right. Thank you, Clinton. I was gonna let him go, but he had more to say, and boy, did he have more to say. There it is. I was gonna ask him who the last person was that he stress cleaned for, but see, nobody visits us, so we never have to worry ourselves about that. People don't come to visit, and so like my youngest brother and his kids will come once a year in the summer. But we're not doing no stress cleaning. Casa Cox pretty spick and span. But I do want to mention very briefly that tomorrow on the program, we will have a pretty big announcement here. And I can't really say that much about it. I don't know if I can say anything about it other than to say that tomorrow, hot on the heels of us moving into a new studio here.
What could be bigger than that?
What indeed? What indeed?
Is it thermostat related?
Oh, God. So Jeremiah comes in here, who's right next door in Studio D. He does afternoons over at Kiss FM. And he goes, hey, fun fact, our studios now that you're in here, we share a thermostat. Can I tap this back a little bit? I go, yeah, I didn't even look over and see what it was. I don't know how these thermostats work. I'm not saying I don't know how a thermostat works, because I do. I don't know how these work, because at various points throughout the day, I will come in and out of this studio, and I'll glance at the thermostat, because I'll feel little tiny changes in the air, right? Nothing I've done with the thermostat, but I'll look at various points throughout the day. Sometimes it says cool, and sometimes it says heat. So I don't know how these work. The only thing I'll ever do is maybe drop the temperature. But sometimes, and you'll notice this too if you look, sometimes, because I asked him when he came in, pre-show, I go, what does it say? Because it said the temperature was 73 degrees. I said, well, you're right. That's way too hot. He's sweating his balls off in there. I go, that's way too hot. I said, dial it back a bit. Feel free. I said, does it say cool or heat? And he goes, it says cool. And then he goes, why the hell does it say cool? I go, I don't know, bro. I don't know how these work, So in Studio B, people were accusing me of manipulating the thermostat or doing something. No such thing. It has a mind of its own. I do have to bring that good smelling thing in here, though. I don't know if they're going to move the Christmas tree. They'll probably keep the tree in the window studio.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, is just fine with me.
Makes sense.
So the announcement tomorrow is not thermostat related.
The announcement tomorrow...
Is it good smelling thing related?
I don't even know about that. I'm not gonna
That's like
say-
moment by moment.
I'm not going to say.
We're just gonna. It's gonna be like trying to guess the CLE clothing word. Just gonna name everything we could possibly think of.
I'm not going to say that it's not thermostat related. It's definitely, that's not the primary focus. But it's, all right, it's not thermostat related. I'll peel that little thing back. But tomorrow, probably at the top of the show. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But we'll have an announcement that will make some of you very happy and others of you not. So we'll see. That's how I like most decisions to be.
Divisive.
Well, not intentionally, but if everybody's on one side, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so, it's a difficult situation to have everybody on one side. Thank you to Zach, by the way. The Cavs won over the weekend. Yeah, they beat the Pistons in Detroit, which is no big shakes, but you certainly don't want to lose 2 in a row to teams like Portland and Detroit. So the Cavs win on Saturday night. They'll play here at home on Wednesday night, and then they have like a 10-day road trip. But they'll host the Magic at the Romo Fijo on Wednesday night. And Zach had sent me a link to the best college basketball names of 2023. I'm into the sports mostly for the names. And I literally looked each one of these up because I thought for sure it was a parody site. And they had just grabbed photos of people. These days you have to check. You got to check. It could be AI. It could be, I like a good goof as much as the next guy, but it's more funny if they're real names. And these were all real names. And the best names in college basketball. And there's a kid named Always Right. W-R-I-G-H-T. Who's from Missouri.
Is he left-handed?
I don't know about that. Again, these are just quick, photos of the players. There's a kid from Chicago named A Million Bugs. B-U-G-G-S.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Is it a million or like
It's all one word.
I-M-I-L-I-O-N?
All one word.
Oh.
A million.
With a million.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Kid from Davenport, Washington named Tennessee Rainwater. You understand why I thought these are made up?
Yes.
Because everybody has seen the Key and Peele sketch from 10 years ago. And so that's what.
I watch that probably, no joke, probably once a month.
It's great.
I watched
It's
that.
one of those things you can't believe nobody did before.
Yeah.
It's so good. A kid at North Carolina Central named Po Boy King. Dick Bender, well, he's a coach. I mean,
Richard.
Jizzle James. Chris Cross.
It's pronounced Ghislaine.
I'm sorry? Ghislaine?
Yeah.
Move over, Bacon. Chris Cross, Supreme Cook, George Washington.
Chris
III.
Cross is the best name for a basketball player I've ever heard.
Chris Cross.
So just crossover.
Chris Cross. There's
Unless your name's Slam Dunk. Like
the third. Slam Duncan.
Lay up.
Yeah. Churchill Bounds.
That sounds like a horse name, like over
That's what it's supposed to. He's 6'10", from Berlin, Maryland. He plays for Wagner College. Churchill Bounds. Connor Dubsky. That's not that funny. Ray Allen the third.
Dubsky's kind of funny.
Tony. His first name's T-O-N-Y. His second name is T-O-N-E-Y. Like that.
Tony, down.
All you need is the third Tony, and you're in for a copyright infringement lawsuit.
Tony?
Yeah.
Dude, the fourth Tony, like in Pop Star.
Guy Fauntleroy from Olympus Prep Academy. Are you seeing these or just hearing me talk about them?
I can put them up.
Wooga Poplar.
Wooga.
Awooga.
Yeah, there's a kid named Boo Booey. B-O-O-B-U-I-E. Boo Booey.
His brother Baba is pretty cool too.
Baba Booey. That's right. Yeah, 9. And Wooga Poplar. It's a great name, too. Rocket Watts, Legend Geeter. Again, I'm only in it for the names. Those are some of the names. Thank you to Zach who sent those to me. I usually do try to keep my ear to the ground on those things, but I can't see everything. A lot of messages coming over the course of the weekend. The Alan Cox Show After Hours line is always there for you. You want to drop a voicemail anytime. It is 216-986-8903.
Hi, Alan. It's another Mike from Parma calling. It was nice to finally meet you in person at this past weekend's Cox Out pregame at the Parma Tavern. I also got to meet Stripper Scott and DJ Jake C., but was disappointed that I did not meet the Mike from Parma, a Mike from Parma, or Gene from Parma. Love me, love you, hate the show, bye.
You know, we had the last Cox Out at the Parma Tavern yesterday, and I met that dude. Because people will come up to me and announce themselves as a Mike from Parma or another Mike from Parma, but the Mike from Parma was there yesterday, too. I hadn't seen him in a minute. So it was a collection, last-minute collection of Parma Mikes. I don't think you can see it on the camera because it's too far away. But Tiny Poundcake I have hanging at the top of the... Oh. And Mike from Parma brought me... And I put him around his neck. He brought...
A little ghost
tiny
bag.
little stuffed ghost bag, yeah.
I love it.
And I hung him around...
I don't like the look of that.
I hung him around Tiny Poundcake's neck like Flava Flav's clock. And so that's where he's going to be from now on. So thank you to the Mike from Parma who was kind enough to bring... What?
Put it around his arm so it looks like a purse.
Why?
I don't like the way it looks.
Like he's a baby Bjorn?
Yeah.
He can't put it on his arm because his arm is what's holding him up on the map.
Yeah, Poundcake.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Besides this
Throw
way...
off the feng shui.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you, Mike, who was kind enough to bring that. And then, a Mike from Parma, whose wife ended up winning the big prize yesterday.
Oh, that's exciting.
Completely coincidentally. But
Wait.
and Stripper Scott was there, and Ethan, who used to be in Rochester, and DJ Jake C. And it was a good time. Love the Parma Tavern. Always happy to hang out with Parmanians out there. And what?
The Mike from Parma or a Mike from Parma?
Both.
Or
The Mike from Parma came out. He was the one that came to
a
Ghost
Mike
Bag.
from Parma's wife won.
Yes, a
So
Mike from Parma.
confusing. But good.
I thought
Happy
they were
for them.
called Parmesans. Oh.
Maybe I call them.
Parmesians?
I call them Parmanians.
Oh.
I don't know what they call themselves. Speaking of Parma, Channel 5 ran a story, and they always run these things. They're supposed to somehow be feel-good stories, but I can't help but feel that they're always the opposite. About a guy in Parma who is 84 years old and has worked for GM since he was 18 years old. He is GM North America's longest active employee. He's been there for 66 years at the GM Parma plant. And they did a big story on him over there at Channel 5. And they're like, can you believe this guy is, but boy, he doesn't look happy.
How could he be? His face is all melted in.
Well, I mean, he's 84. I mean, he's still working. I mean, he's lucid and everything. It's not like they got to prop him up, but still, it's like these stories of people working until they die. Yeah. I don't see how these are the feel-good stories. Like, you don't think this guy would have wanted to retire?
Don't you think this guy wants to retire from that job and start his political career by now?
Get on some AM talk radio.
84 years old. He should be a congressman or a senator or, God bless it, president.
The thing is, he knows how
as CR has been caught.
He knows what?
I'm sorry, he knows how difficult it is to have a job that still has benefits and, the 401k and all that stuff. So he's probably afraid to leave.
That's what I'm saying. People can't leave their jobs.
No.
They literally cannot. It's not because they have this, can you believe
undying
it?
support of the company.
Yeah, of
He
course.
survived all the budget cuts and all the firings.
Right.
So he's like, man, I survived this long. I'm going to just keep going till
Which means they were not paying him well.
Right.
Pretty much.
Cleedith Ray Dawson, also known
Cleedith. I love that name, by the way.
Oh,
Cleedith.
sounds like he wants a job in the video department.
Cleedith. Ray Dobson or whatever.
Cleedith Ray Dawson, also known as CR, has been clocking into work at the General Motors Parma plant since 1957. He's worked in the material department.
1957.
The year my mom was born.
Holy Christ.
That was a year
for
before my mom was born.
66 years.
I never thought too much about it. You got to make a living somewhere.
He's modest, but Dawson is the longest working active General Motors employee in all of GM North America. He has the highest seniority, still working 40 hours, 5 days a week at 84 years old.
Every day, yeah.
And by the way, it's not seniority in like the good sense, right? Like he's got seniority. you know.
Right, there's
like,
still somebody. He's still got a boss. Like he's not in charge of the factory.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know anything about the guy, but
He's
it's like
still got to request time off.
It just
and
means
then be
he's
like,
the
nah, we
oldest
need you. This is our busy
Hey,
time.
we had a call off. Can you come in today?
And at this point, it's really bad PR if they fire him because it's like, oh God, if Cletus is getting fired, no one's safe.
Cletus.
Or
I
they
love it.
well,
Cletus.
He's like the
you worked here for
mascot.
6 years, and we want to show you our highest honor. This is a $400 watch. Congratulations.
And I hope I can go for a little while longer.
Dawson moved from West Virginia to Cleveland at age 17 in search of more opportunity, landing his job at GM at 18. Dawson says over the years, the work has changed. It's less physical now.
They don't do that no more. These poor people today couldn't handle that.
Dawson has lived through 16 contract ratifications between GM and his local 1005 United Auto Workers Union. He says this year's UAW strike was unique because his department was still able to come to work.
Some of them been pretty rough. Walking that picket line. That's why I was glad they signed up this time, because we'd have been out there in the middle of winter.
Plant director Amy Carrier says Dawson leads by example. He's never been late to work once in 6 decades.
I don't believe that.
Generationally, there's obviously a difference in
He leads by example, which means this guy, he doesn't complain. We're working this guy to the bone. This is what we wish every person who works for us could
This
do.
is why we got to replace you with robots, because you used to just show up and do what you're told, and now you don't.
That's right.
Never late in 60 years. I don't believe that.
Why?
Never, not once you
I
had
had perfect-
anything happen.
I had perfect attendance kindergarten through senior year of high school.
But there had to have
saying
been
that with pride,
something
and it's
out of
weird.
his, like a flat tire
just saying it
or
can
an
be done.
accident or, you know.
people with 65 years seniority, and the example that they set, and their pride in attendance and their workmanship, etc.
Dawson feels GM has graced him the opportunity he was searching for when he first moved to Cleveland. He was able to start a family, which has been his biggest blessing.
My family comes first, and then the plant. I said, I can get another job,
No, you
but
can't.
not another family.
Well,
So
back
no
then,
plans of stopping anytime soon.
The man that was taking applications, he said, how long you plan on staying? I said, as long as they need me. So I guess somebody needs me. I'm still here.
In Parma, Bryn Caswell, News 5.
Trouble every once in a while.
How about CR? 66 years in. Oh, my golly, that's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that guy. That Bryn Caswell. I don't know who she is. He's foxy. Yeah, so 84 years old. And listen, the guy still, again, they don't have to prop him up. He's still doing his job, and they like what he's doing. And
His eyes are pretty.
I've got to take a break. If you want to get a text in, congratulations, Cardiff, on your...
Cletus.
I'm sorry. Thinking of the salt mines. Sorry. 35192, you want to text, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.
'Twas a few weeks before Christmas, and all through the land, the people were thirsty for cheer in a can. When out at the brew kettle, the buzzard appeared with the latest creation of holiday beer. Join us at the Brew Kettle in Strongsville tonight from 5 to 8 for the official release of the new Rockin' Buzzard Holiday Brew. Happy drinking to all, and to all a good night.
WMMS.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart